What is up, XRP family? Thank you guys for joining the video for today. So here we can see SEC chair confirms the US government officially approves cryptocurrency. Guys, I want to show you that this time around it's gonna be different. The bull market is going to be different, right? A lot of people think that the top is in, but it's not. It is just starting. Again, make no mistake, because this is the next leg where price discovery is going to start, right? As you can see here as well, it's just accumulating. There is nothing weird happening here. We are at a moment where we have a lot of uncertainty. A lot of people do not understand this cycle. And to be honest, it's a very weird cycle. But what you have to understand is there is more money entered crypto. And you have to understand that this accumulation was all we needed to confirm the next leg up. We never went to an all-time high like this and then started accumulating. We did that once before with Bitcoin, but that was when Bitcoin was 10K. And then it started shooting up to 60, 70K, which is a lot of percentages. What we're seeing here is the same thing. And what you're going to see is you're going to see double digits for XRP, mark my word. You will see that. The thing is, they are shaking a lot of people out. Just in August 2025, US Faster Payments Council report confirms ISO 222 and blockchain complement each other. A global consensus is forming with stablecoin adoption, leading to what the future of blockchain represents to cross-border payments. ISO 222 and blockchain complement each other by enhancing payment standardization, efficiency, and transparency. All you can see in these papers, do not forget that this is real. Their integration can help bridge the gap between traditional finance and decentralized finance, driving improvement in financial inclusion and real-time global money movement. Now, this is the time that we are going to see utility play its hand. And a lot of people do not understand.
Now, the United States government has put its stamp of approval on a very key and important, potentially very important digital asset that will, I think, help to lower costs, lower risks in the market, because we can now move towards an instantaneous almost settlement of payment versus delivery for securities, thanks to the one.
Here we can see people claim XRP will replace SWIFT, when in reality SWIFT is working with Chainlink to connect 11,500 SWIFT member banks to any public-private blockchain. There's millions of examples of this kind of disconnect between narrative and reality. So this guy thinks that Link is actually the institutional coin. Now let me break this down. Link is very important, and yes, it will play a role in connecting SWIFT member banks and connecting banks in general. But what this guy does not understand, again, that XRP is going to be the blockchain technology that they will actually use to move the money. Because you cannot use Chainlink for that. To actually move the money, you need something that is instantaneous, fast, cheap, and that's XRP. You need a company behind it that also is connecting a lot of banks together and working together with a lot of banks, which is Ripple. So what this guy here is saying, he is simply missing the picture. And the thing is, he's just focusing on one coin. Now, this is my opinion about people like this. They just have tunnel vision with one coin, which is a very bad thing to have in this kind of market. You need to be open-minded. You need to look at different things. Let's take a look, for example, at Hedera Hashgraph, which is a huge coin, which will also have large institutions that will back it up. It's just more coins. It's not just one coin. I'm not preaching XRP as the only coin that will be used by institutions, but XRP will be the technology that they will use to move the money, right? And SWIFT and I mean Chainlink is something that they will use as well to connect banks. But it's a very different technology. And this is exactly why I don't own Ripple. XRP. Ripple releases 1 billion XRP from escrow. Now this scares a lot of people. Again, this is just something that is part of how XRP was created. They just put that 50 billion in escrow and it's getting released every year. This is just what they are doing. This is to keep Ripple healthy. This is to use the money for greater things. And also there are a lot of ideas circulating which could lead to that they are sending this escrow money to an unknown wallet, as you can see here, which will later be used to actually start the bridge asset theory, right? So again, a lot of people are taking these negative things, but they're not understanding that XRP is just going to be used. There is no doubt about it anymore. Look at the price. It's $3.2. We are leaving that zone where a lot of people could actually accumulate XRP. Still, it's still cheap, right? And again, when retail comes in, they will look at the top of the coins. Bitcoin is too expensive. Ethereum is too expensive. I just want to be part of crypto. This is how retail will think. And when they see XRP at $3 and it's number 3 ranked, they will not look at market cap, guys, because retail does not understand all of that. BNB, too expensive, $800. Solana, too expensive. So then the next one will be Dogecoin, right? And the thing is, XRP is number 3. It's not number 7 or 6, where you can compare it to Dogecoin. So again, there are a lot of catalysts in store for XRP. Please understand that. And stuff like this, do not get distracted, guys, by this escrow release and all of this shit. What if Ripple's real secret weapon was hidden in plain sight for all these years and they were actually just a steward of most of the XRP in escrow? What if the SEC suit was the final act before the reveal? It would shake the crypto market narrative to its foundations and send XRP like never before. Ripple escrows 55 billion XRP for supply predictability, while Ripple has proved to be a responsible steward of XRP supply for almost 5 years. Again, then we see here, manage or look after. This is what steward means. So they're looking after those 55 billion coins because they don't just want everything to be scattered around, which is completely obvious. If you want something to be a bridge reserve currency for the whole world, you're not just gonna leave everything up to the people, which is not possible. Correction, after several conversations, this is verified as false. The story was either made up, journalists or taken out of context with bias. Both SOL and XRP ETFs are in discussion with BlackRock. So here someone said that BlackRock, which currently lists and trades Bitcoin ETFs and Ethereum ETFs, said it does not have plans for an XRP ETF. At this time, BlackRock does not have any plans to file an XRP or SOL ETF, right? That's what he said. Both SOL and XRP ETFs are in discussion with BlackRock. Timing cannot be confirmed. Deadline is October to file. Here is the article that spread this false signal. This is verified nonsense from the blog. XRP and SOL spot ETF are definitely on the table. Now you have to understand, you just think logical for your own sake. A lot of people are throwing around stuff, so be careful. Do not trust these negative hate spreading people because it's not true. So you want to tell me that people want to actually start Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs without talking about XRP or Solana? XRP and Solana are very fast. And to be very honest, for myself, I actually prefer using XRP or Solana because these chains are just very fast and they're cheap to use. So when we're looking at this, I just cannot understand why people spread this misinformation. Ripple and Stellar accessories to messaging and payment systems. Others are essentially accessories to a messaging and payment system, meaning Ripple and Stellar. Cryptocurrencies, bank deposit. You can see in all of these papers, I cannot bring you papers that are talking about Bitcoin or Ethereum for using CBDCs or even, I cannot bring you those papers, guys. I can bring you papers of banks, which is the Central Bank of Malaysia, that is talking about XRP or is talking about Stellar, for example, right? And the reason for that, guys, is because it's just the technology that they need and they're going to use. At the end of the day, XRP purchasers have bought effectively a slice of the future cash flows that Ripple would make from the licensing of its transaction settlement system. That is crazy. And these are all details, right, that people overlook. That's a key detail many XRP holders overlook. You are holding something that is very powerful. Thank you very much for watching this video, guys. Do not get distracted. See you in the next one.